Hey guys, today we're here at the shop and we've got a mock-up wall behind us and we're doing some tests on spray foam products. So I've got Moody here with Complete Insulation. He's the professional. So Moody, tell us why we're here.
Well, for whatever reason, recently there's been a lot of conversation, particularly there's a lot of barndominiums being constructed, as you well know. And if you apply the double bubble or the standard house wrap and want to apply spray foam as your insulating product, there's been a couple of concerns that have come up. One was, will it melt the product? And number two, delamination. So what we wanted to do today said, hey, why don't we do this? Let's just build a mock-up, spray both closed and open cells, see what happens. Yeah. And that's what we did.
Yeah. So we'll show you here what's going on. We have closed cell on the bottom here. This whole bottom wall is closed cell. The top portion is open cell. So one of the myths is that it's melting.
Correct.
Right? We have, if we pull this off, which you've got to pull it, there's zero melt, nothing on the dope bubble. Moody, you want to explain that?
Plus, let's look at this. You were looking at the back side of this entire double bubble cavity situation here. If it melted, you would see it right off the bat.
Yeah, you'd see it right on here.
Exactly,
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so the other thing is people are concerned about it delaminating.
So let's talk about delamination.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things with delamination. In our world, delamination is really going to occur at the application stage. For whatever reason, when you apply it, it's pulling back from the substrate, which is a fairly immediate situation. Over time, the only way it's going to delaminate is if it's being mechanically separated from whatever the substrate is.
Right.
So I don't.
So you've got to be really pulling on it in order for it to be
and we did make some samples right here. Why don't you grab that closed cell that's down there and just take a look. It is, let's look at the back. I mean,
there's no melt, nothing, solid.
And if we want to separate it, we have to physically pull this off.
Yeah, it won't come off just on its own. And so over here we have the house wrap portion of this demo. Same thing, there's no melting. And this is even harder to pull off. I mean, this is definitely not coming off unless you really yank on it.
Exactly.
Closed cell, you've got to really pull it.
And then let's look at it from the standpoint of, we're just hitting some issues that have been brought up. But by going with a spray foam product, either closed cell or the open cell, you're getting the added benefit of air sealing your structure in. So from the insulating benefits, let's talk about closed cell real quick. I love using closed cells for metal building structures. My home is sprayed with closed cell. We live in a high wind event area of the country here. In fact, earlier today when we were trying to do this, the major thunderstorm came through.
Yep.
Once you spray this, I call it like you basically Gorilla Glue your structure together. And it has been tested. The closed cell spray foam can add a 30% racking strength to exterior walls or whatever substrate that it's applied against. And from that standpoint, that's why I really, really always swear that I highly recommend using closed cell when possible.
Can you tell me what the R value is, the differences between the closed
Absolutely.
cell and open cell? At what point is it a vapor barrier thickness?
Well, let's talk about vapor barrier, which is permeance.
Yeah.
Closed cell for most products, it depends on what the manufacturer is, but most of it 1.5 inches.
Okay.
3.5 inches on open cell. That's where you get your air barrier, the permeance rating of less than 1. That's what you're looking for there. R value, closed cell tends to be roughly 6.5 to 7, depending on who the manufacturer is, per inch of R. Closed cell is basically at 3.5 inches, you're right at an R13, and it's used a lot in residential construction too before construction. So it's just, they're formulated a little bit differently. In fact, just a real quick interesting fact, closed cell, one of its original uses and why it was manufactured was for exterior roofing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's really
solid.
strong. It is
Very
solid.
strong.
But it conforms. It's great because it'll spread out and find the cracks and the crevices and really seal off your structure. where you can't get that from a fiberglass bat. It is not going to happen, and you never get the air seal capabilities out of a fiberglass bat.
So I mean, the combination between a house wrap or double bubble behind a metal clad building is a great system, and it works very well.
Yep.
And so that was the whole point of this mock-up today, was to test these products, and we really debunked a couple of the myths that have come up.
In fact, we were talking, we wanted to make sure in our mind, I said, let's just do this. And we've been out here and sprayed it.
Worked out great.
Yep.
Moody, appreciate you.
Thank you very much
Thanks
for doing
coming
this.
out.
Yep, you're more than welcome.
Appreciate it.
More
Thanks,
than welcome.
guys.